Bring them in, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. Oh God, Mikey V.
Special shirt today.
Oh,
in the Bahama blue. Cuts. I'm
He-
warning you right now. Don't start with the looks, because every fucking minute of every day, I got to look at your Instagram story. Look at the new hat today. Fresh drop today. This is a special hat today. And you just give me a look. As soon as you see the shirt, you should say, Mike, you know what? Nice shirt. You did a nice job.
I haven't said a word.
Welcome.
I can't even give a look.
Whoa, gentlemen. We don't need to stop.
I haven't even said a word yet. I'm getting my head bitten off over here.
We don't need hostility
I
out of the gate.
I apologize. That's
I mean, I get it. I know I can be a little confrontational, but I didn't even say a word yet today.
Yeah, you two in the group chats lately have been going back and forth.
Yeah.
It has been fireworks.
Football season's right around the corner.
Some of
We
the
need
things
it.
that he's throwing out there is outrageous, Bob. And you know what? I'm not going to be the one to sit back and listen to it sometimes. Hearing that the Bears are like the next coming of Christ because they beat a team with didn't even put their starting quarterback in for one drive, and they fucking torched them.
Fun fact to start the podcast today. Bears 1-0 undefeated, Packers 0-1.
This is
fun fact to start the
crazy narrative I've ever heard in my life.
Is that something that you should be? I mean, does that concern you, Joey D?
No, it's the backups playing. The Bears had one drive against Mahomes. They got torched. It was like scorched earth policy. They got
no, Mikey. That is true. That was a rough drive.
That was terrible. I mean, we almost lost the prize picks because of it.
This guy's the MVP of the league.
Not recently.
No, but I mean, he's won the MVP. I mean, he's an MVP caliber player. I mean, we're splitting hairs
here.
here.
If he had Mahomes in that whole game, the guy would have had like 5 touchdown passes and 350 yards passing.
Here's all I'm saying is, and you could refute this all you want, and you could look up the stats right now online. You could look it up. The Bears are undefeated, and the Packers have yet to win. That is just
Aaron Rodgers hasn't touched the field yet.
We are starting very early here, gentlemen, into the football year. Although I will say, Mikey V,
it's the best, though.
You talk about his finger on the pulse. The bet that he gave us yesterday on Prize Picks was one of the more special things I've seen. He had Patrick Mahomes. Talk about a guy who's week 1 ready right now. He's in midseason form. He had a Patrick Mahomes prop bet on Prize Picks, 60.5 yards. He said that he's going to get one drive. Mahomes drives them all the way down the field.
Got 60 yards.
He gets 60 yards on the dot and they take him off. For anybody that took the over, the over was, I mean, he did everything that he possibly could have done and it still didn't hit the over. So I do think it's a very good sign of what's to come. He also, the other bet, knew that David Montgomery was going to be out and thought that Prize Picks would reward him.
He was livid.
And by the way, he almost went at it with our Prize Picks rep.
I was biting my lip, praying to God that he wasn't going to go off the handle.
We love Prize Picks here. Prize Picks is part of our family here, right? They're part of the Brilliantly Dumb family. But I have to say that, knowing Montgomery's status through the whole week, it was like dangling a carrot in front of a viper. You know what I mean? Or dangling a carrot in front of a Clydesdale. Like, you don't put a guy's prop out there when you should know that he's not going to play. And then for them to go from 20.5 yards rushing to his total getting dropped to 17.5 yards rushing about an hour before kickoff. It's like you're still updating his total. So what are we doing here? What's happening here?
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to join us on Prize Picks,
which you should,
which you absolutely should,
really should.
Your promo code is going to be the boys. If you want to bet with a guy like Joey D, Mikey V, myself, Fat Perez, been dialed in on the golf picks. Prize Picks is without question your answer. I just want to shift gears for a second here, Joseph. How was your Chick-fil-A breakfast this morning? Talk me through that. Let's talk food for a second here.
It was good. I did the sausage burrito. I think it's a very good play. I love the chicken sandwiches, but for the morning, I'm not crazy about like the biscuits that they have. They're pretty good, but I find biscuits can be dry sometimes, and I'm not a big advocate of like, if you get a dry biscuit, their burrito is really good. And I'll either do they have the chicken one, or I'll do the burrito with sausage is what I did today. And their iced coffees are undefeated. Today is a new day. Today is the day.
You know, the only problem that I have with the Chick-fil-A breakfast is I find their coffee to be like too sweet. It's
the
like
iced coffee. The iced coffee. I gave it to Jet once, not long ago, like a couple months ago. He was at my place and he ordered. You do French vanilla iced coffee. And he was like, he just discovered plutonium. The guy was losing his mind.
He loved it.
You're doing a predetermined flavor though, so that's might be sweet. Like it's not gonna be sweet if you don't ask for sugar, right?
Yeah.
No, it tends to be a pretty. There's something. I think some people love it. I think it's very.
Speaking of beverages, is that a blender on Mikey V's desk?
Yeah,
this is not a desk. So this is where I'm sitting right now. Where I'm sitting right now is my kitchen. This is my kitchen setup. This is like a built-in unit in the kitchen. So
I thought that was his office space, Bob.
Mike, do you realize how you got a Bears top 100 players book next to a blender?
That's just a little something. It's not going to remain there. It's going to go in the cave. Once the cave's completed, it'll be in the cave.
Well, that's another story because I got a feeling that our guy Paul Capone is feeling I woke up to a text from Mikey.
You said Mikey's worried.
The day the podcast released. And it said from Mikey, he's like, "Hey, Capone just messaged me. He said, tell Bob I'll rip his heart out and eat it in my cereal if he keeps talking shit on."
I've never met this Capone character before.
He's a character.
So I don't really know what he's like.
He's an absolute guy. Isn't that what he said though, Mikey V?
Yeah, he said, listen, tell Bob I'm going to rip his heart out and eat it in my cereal bowl. And then I sent that to Bob and Bob was dying. And, but Paul's a member of the faithful. He's a Patreon guy who's on the happy hours a lot. So he knows the deal. So he thinks it's hysterical, everything that we do. So he's a big supporter.
We were talking about, do we have Paul Capone on the podcast? Do we bring the ticket on for a challenge possibly? The way that we were going to go today, and unfortunately they will not be joining us today.
It's a real shame.
We have not heard back from Cousins Maine Lobster, who looked like they were ready for the podcast. There's been the ongoing feud between Bear Down and
it might
Cousins.
Be for the best, Bob, because I think Bear Down was ready to come for blood.
No,
and I just did not want to, from a PR standpoint, I did not
true.
want to be the mediator trying to keep things. They have done very good by us, Bob, and they've been very good to us.
And the last thing that we need, by you, they've done good. By you, not by me.
Well, that's fine, but Mikey, you do not need to come for blood.
I'm not coming for blood.
You told me in a text, you said, I'm coming in hot.
I want to know why I was messaged that I was going to receive a package, and then that was the end of it, never received the package.
Well,
and then I was messaged, they want to come on the pod, we're going to have some fun. Listen, I think they're great guys.
Bob, they sent the message, they said, good things take time. They put in my, they wrote they sent me a package, and then they said, tell Mikey V his package is coming, but remember, in life, good things take time. And I'll tell you what,
at this point, I better get half the fucking Bering Sea delivered at this point.
I gotta tell you, I like the play from Cousins. They're having some fun with it.
I do too. And that's why I respect it. And yesterday I DM'd them, but I guess it is late notice. It's a Saturday. No, because of the pod. I was trying to get them on the pod.
And by the way, the guy who's coming on is the CEO of the company. It's not like some random worker.
Better.
It's a guy who's
even better. I'll tell you this.
They're listening week in and week out.
We should be speaking to
Bear Down there.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying the fact that they're listening week in, week out to our podcast, these are people we could end up working with. So all I'm saying, Mike,
I would love to work with them, but
I understand that. But I'm saying just show them the love because they are great. And by the way, the owner's a hockey guy. I hit it off very well with him.
Great
lobster. Wait a minute. This is turning into a pretzel job. It's not like I'm going out on a smear campaign against Cousins Maine Lobster.
Whoa,
it's not
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
There's been a lot of ill harm spoken towards Cousins Maine Lobster.
I don't know about that. Do you know how many? See, they get the two total opposite sides of the spectrum. They get me and Cutsy, who rave about Cousins Maine Lobster, one of the best lobster raviolis I've ever had. Then, do you know how many pictures I get? Anybody that goes now to a Cousins Maine Lobster truck and is in a line, though, they send a picture saying Bear Down was right. So to say, that you've been. Oh, here he is with the voice.
Because it's a problem that's been lingering, and no one wanted to say anything about it because of how good their product is. Let me say this: I waited in the line. The product knocked my socks off. Great product. That's not the point. The point is all I said was perhaps they could work a different system to speed up the line at the food truck.
But when you order it at home, you don't have to wait at all.
Mikey V.
They have the nicest box. They send it to you. It's
Give
everything.
me-
That seems like a project.
Give me a food
No, Bob,
truck.
tell him it's not. Bob, tell him the stuff that we get at home when we get the package from Cousins.
Tremendous.
It's
I'm sure.
unbelievable.
Tremendous.
It comes
I'm
very
sure.
quick. It's very easy to cook, and the stuff is unreal.
And
I don't doubt it.
usually,
I don't doubt it.
with the frozen stuff, it never ends up being as good, or the stuff they send you. It happens to be very, very good.
Well,
I got
Bob,
into
you
trouble.
sent me that care package from the
Bone-in
Butcher out
Butcher.
in Texas.
Very
and-
good.
And that held up. And I still have a couple steaks left in the freezer at the new place. And I grilled one not too long ago. They held up very well. Very
Yeah,
well.
but Mikey, you tell me, okay, a famous food spot or a real good food truck that doesn't have a line. You can't have 50 employees in there. You know what I mean? Every food truck that's a good staple is gonna have a bit.
I
of
love the
bit of-
fact that these guys pass the test of Mr. Wonderful, but God
they
forbid
can't,
if they
yeah.
have to, they can't
Yeah,
get bear
bro,
down.
I tell you what.
Wait a minute. This is turning into a pretzel job. I never said that the product wasn't good. All I pointed out was a weakness in the armor, a chink in the armor. I pointed out a weakness, a chink in the armor. I pointed it out,
You've had a lot of things
And-
to say about them.
a kink in the armor, and I pointed it out. And if I'm the boss, I'd be like, you know what? This many people are saying it. Maybe it's something I should put my eye on, and maybe it's something I should adjust.
But that's not all you said, Mikey V. Let's call a spade here. You didn't just say, oh, they have long lines. You said these guys are scumbags. They never got back to me.
Oh, I never said scumbag,
whoa, I
Joe.
don't-
Maybe
I never
scumbags
said
I don't
wasn't
know if
there was
scumbag
some
was
ill
it.
will said towards
I
the Cousins.
don't
Scumbag Joe.
I've had to stand up for these people a lot. Bob, you know this.
Well,
I've stood up for them a
this is
lot.
The scumbag
This
word,
is a
that's a
sick
heavy
narrative.
that's
This is
a heavy
sick narrative.
That's a heavy,
Maybe not
heavy
scumbag,
word.
but he did say something along the lines of these people don't know how to do business, because if they did, I'd have a package already in my
Well,
hands.
there
And then he
is-
proceeded to say, little Dom loves lobster. Bob, you know the photo he sent me of
He
Dom
does.
with the it's one of the most preposterous photos
Yeah,
I've ever
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa, whoa! Why is that preposterous? Why is
You
that
just
preposterous?
it's like you planted a giant lobster on Dom's little
Planted
fucking
it?
Yeah, well,
was-
no. Well,
Bob, this
Chris-
is look at this thing. Look at this. You think a Dom just went in there and went to the kitchen, got that out of the broiler,
Wait a
and
minute
sat
now.
down to have a
Wait a
nice
minute.
lobster
To be
dinner?
fair,
Look
wait
at
a
this,
minute.
Bob. The thing's bigger than
My
he
son's
is.
got it.
By
My
the way-
son's got it
by
good.
the
Number
way,
one. Number
you
two,
know
that was
what?
Christmas Eve. That was
Oh, by
Christmas
the way-
Eve. We ate lobster on Christmas
Yeah,
Eve. We ate
you know,
lobster.
if you don't think Mikey V's putting out and planted
Oh.
the lobsters, because if you think that
That's
Dom
absurd.
is
Planted
is
a
is
lobster.
asking
That's absurd.
for a lobster, that little Dom is so keen in on having
He's a big
lobster
lobster
for
guy,
dinner.
Bob.
No,
He's a big
Dom lives
lobster
a
guy.
very privileged life, I guess.
He's using his kid as propaganda. is what took
Oh,
place.
that picture was from years ago. That wasn't even. a
I'd
recent
love to
picture.
check with Holly V on that.
You can
We
check
got to
with her.
bring Holly V sometimes
That's-
on for a
That's
fact check.
not.
By the
That is
way,
not.
Yeah, I would really like to fact check Holly V on that. But
You can fact check that. That is an
there
old
is-
photograph.
there is nothing that I love more. And bear down, I mean this respectfully because you're my
Do
best
you?
friend, okay? And I love you.
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead.
But there is nothing that I love more, and I think that Cuts loves more than bear down just getting banged by a brand. You know what I mean?
Jeez,
there is
look at that.
there is
Now that's a
nothing-
recent photo of him with a lobster.
I really
He's a lobster guy, man.
You know, when we message them and they're for that, they're all for. I would really like to bring Cousins Maine Lobster. Now, what I did say in the group chat is that Westgate Sportsbook has it at minus 140 that a podcast by the end of it would end in a sponsorship of Cousins Maine Lobster.
Could you imagine? That'd be pretty special.
It'd be really special. It'd be a
it
comeback
would be
story
nice.
too.
Yeah,
you
it
know
would
what
be
I mean?
And you know what? I will say this. I like to get at Mikey V sometimes, but there is no one more loyal and more cutthroat that I think if Cousins turned around and like extended the olive branch, this guy
Red
would
Lobster would be
walking-
out of business in 2 months. Red Lobster would be out of business
Mikey
in 2
V,
months.
when he cares about a company or something, this guy will
Oh.
break his back for them. And you know, and I will give him that. There's credit needed where credit is due.
Thank you.
And that is
Thank you,
100%
Joe.
something I will give you credit for, Mikey V. But
Thank you,
it's
Joe.
just hysterical. And by the way, I gotta say this right forward. The morning pods hit so much better. I mean, we might
Oh,
want to
yeah.
look to transition moving forward.
Yeah.
The morning pods, when Bear Down gets on that Peloton, beforehand, and then we come in. There's a lot of energy. The fucking vibes are immaculate. It's undefeated.
I would have no issue doing full blown morning pods.
Sunday morning could be.
I'll say this, Mikey V. I mean, you talk about that Peloton. These numbers that he put up today. This is not in. I always just look at calories. In 45 minutes, Bear Down burned over 1,200. It's like he played in an NBA basketball game with the calories. That is, let me tell you,
pretty
Mikey
preposterous.
V. Now, let me ask you this, though, Mikey V. Okay. Staying on the food topic, because we've talked about, different sponsors that we would like to have. Of course, Cutsy went and said Emirates. I think it was Emirates and like Ferrari for different brand deals.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
You're shooting for the stars, Joe.
Well, NetJets then. We'll do NetJets. Imagine how nice you have a private jet.
I could see Cutsy going like LA to Scottsdale on an Emirates flight, like a 45-minute flight. They don't even have time to serve anything. Yeah. If you would have one food sponsor, because I know mine, if it weren't to be, Chick-fil-A's up there. I haven't, to be honest, had as much Chick-fil-A as I normally, like I usually go on a tear Chick-fil-A. Mine would be, and then I'll get to you, Mike. I'd be curious. I am obsessed now with Jersey Mike's. I think Jersey Mike's is really just tremendous. Talk about like even like a big brand. Like obviously I'd rather have like the local, New Jersey delis or something like that. But as a big brand, I'd love Jersey Mike's. If you were to have one big food brand, who would Mikey V get behind? Don't say Burger King. I swear.
No. And it wouldn't be it couldn't be a fast food place. I think like, something like maybe like an Omaha Steaks or something like that, something along those lines. Like, are we talking like a chain restaurant? Or
like a restaurant?
I don't know. I was a big Hula Hands guy. Hula Hands guy. I loved Hula Hands, but Hula Hands kind of, I think, is taking a back seat. So I mean, I was a Hula Hands guy. That would probably be a Hula Hands or
you go Chipotle, Joey Day.
I would. I went recently with Ticket, and he told me something I didn't know, and I've become infatuated with it. Is for the elite of the elite. So there's only like I don't know how many people who have this. They get a black card for Chipotle, which is like that they can use anytime they want. Every day they get a free meal, and it's almost like an exclusivity thing. You know what I mean? Because only the most elite of the most elite get it. So to me, I'm like, if I could secure that black Chipotle card, I know that I'm up in the running, that I'm doing real well, Bob. Like it's a flex. I would almost just like, when they come to pick up the cards at the table after dinner, I would almost just like fumble the black instead of a black American Express, fumble the black Chipotle card on the table.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you too. I think Chipotle is great, and I actually have a problem with the people who. I think Chipotle's food and their ingredients are too fresh to call it fast food. I don't like.
No, it's a cut above.
Yeah, I don't like when people.
Not fast food.
But you'd be surprised at the amount of people that would put it in the fast food category.
No, because you eat at McDonald's.
I don't think it is. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people out there that when they put their top 5, I've seen Barstool do theirs where these people get to put top 5 and they put Chipotle in there. I mean, I just think it's.
Here's my thing about it, why it's tough for me to give an answer for this. Number one, because we eat at home all the time. Really, we don't. I mean, we go out to restaurants, but not like chain restaurants really. And we eat at home most of the time. And then if I'm in the mood to like go out and get lunch at work, I go to like a mom and pop place, or I go to a diner. Jersey, you're just so spoiled with the diners. I'd rather go to a diner than a chain place any day of the week.
I don't like to support the individual businesses.
Well, diners just are better food too. Like the food is fresher. It's prepared to order. Most of the time. And, Bob could attest that Jersey diners are
potatoes
undefeated. Yeah.
They all do the potatoes right. Every single goddamn one of them. I mean, for the most part, most of them do it right. Diners aren't a big thing out West. We've talked about it before. Just not.
That would be a big problem.
Now, Bob, I want to talk about Tickets setting up this fantasy league for us.
Correct.
I am going to tell you this right now. I don't care where I finish in this fantasy league. My goal at the end of the year is to finish ahead of Mikey V. If I do finish ahead of Mikey V in the fantasy league, I'm going to say it's a W for team.
Why is that, Joe? Why?
Because you came in like guns blazing on the group text, like, oh, for anybody who knows, I'm the most, what did he say, Bob? I got to read this. It was so ridiculous. Did you hear? I mean, it's outrageous, this message.
Well, I'll tell you all I said.
I will read the text right now because it was outrageous. And he said, Bear Down goes, I'll participate simply because I'm the most rock solid and reliable guy in this camp. God bless and thank you. And
I don't think I'm wrong.
Chill with the self-glorification.
Yeah, which by the way,
and then
sir, for you to say that.
Now, why is that? Why? Well, hold on now. Now, why is that absurd, Mikey V?
For Joe to say, let's chill with self-gratification.
This
guy's number one fan is Joey D's number one fan is Joey D himself. Everyone knows this, and that's fine. But for him to break my balls on self-gratification,
I just thought you came in very hot, like God, like your God's gift to fantasy, and we'd be lucky to have you.
No, it had nothing to do with fantasy or my fantasy prowess. It was just the fact that I'm going to participate because it's going to help the team. I'm a team.
I'm going to somehow draft Justin Fields just to watch him beat you every time.
I'm not
Justin
a homer.
Fields
I'm not a homer when it comes to fantasy football. So I'm not going to just pick Bears players.
Folks, we need to interrupt the Real and the Dumb show to let you know about the one, the only, the AG1. Coming out of the boys and girls from Athletic Greens. You talk about something that I'm taking every goddamn day. You're talking about AG1 from Athletic Greens. Pop AG1 into a strawberry banana smoothie every morning the way that Bob does, and then you could go ahead and thank me later. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and more. Start the day right. It gives me a little bit of a pep to my step, keeps me healthy, keeps me clean, and most importantly for me, supports gut health. With the way that I eat, Lord knows that I need it. AG1 as well is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing you can do every single day to take great care of yourself. Your subscription with Athletic Greens comes with a year's supply of vitamin D, which is so important to add in these winter months or even southern months where we get some sunlight and we don't get as much sunlight. Regardless of when you're taking it, rain, shine, or snow, Athletic Greens is a no-brainer. Now, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/dumb. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/dumb to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. You heard it here first. Pop their AG1 into a strawberry banana smoothie 5-6 days a week. You can thank me later. By the way, something that really bothers me with my friends that are like Jet fans is I will say, Mikey, I do think, when you say the ridiculous Bears takes, like, I know that you're joking. I appreciate the fact that I do think you're a realist with the Bears. Me and my friends that are Jet fans and their season ticket holders, they get upset at me that I don't expect the Jets to either make the playoffs, win the division. I'm not going to sit here and say that this team has any shot
at
making
the playoffs. You're not delusional, Bob.
I live with that every day. But imagine my position.
What am I going to say?
I would love to say that I understand where you guys are coming from, but I don't, because my team's one of the best in the NFL for the last decade.
But I will tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, though,
That's
Joey.
correct.
I'll tell you what, though. That stunt that you pulled last year with the guaranteeing the Super, you need a big bounce back year to where you either play it 2 ways. You either go double down and start guaranteeing it again and it better hit, or you just kind of take a back seat and let it ride and let.
I don't owe anything to anybody.
Well, I'm not saying you owe anything to anybody, but there's no doubt about it that you guaranteeing the Packers Super Bowl win last year was not a bad look.
No, that was a horrible look.
They
lost by a fluke.
Oh, Joseph, Joey.
A blocked punt is how we lost that game.
Joe, we're not going to rehash this, Joe. We can't rehash this.
But Cutsy,
we've covered it too many times.
Can you not look at that and say, yeah, you know what? My approach to the year did not go.
I was super confident. It didn't work out, and that's where it ends. I don't have to do anything this year. I don't have to like double down or do anything. I'm just going to watch my Packers win the NFC North again, which they're going to do.
That's a double down.
That's an easy.
No, they should.
Mikey,
I think the Vikings could give them a problem. I do. I think
the Vikings stink.
Okay.
By the way, I will say this right now. A lot of Bears fans, when I go on Mikey's feed, he did a live yesterday. I came on and I'm getting roasted. Like these guys bury me every chance they have. I will say this right now. I have nothing against the Bears. I really do not dislike the Bears. Part of the reason is because the Bears really have not beat us for so long that I don't feel any hatred or ill will towards them. And bottom line is they have a very, very supportive fan base who stick by their side. So I almost respect them. I respect, if you're a Lions fan, I will tip my cap to you and I'll shake your hand because Lord knows you're a real one. The Vikings fans are the people that I have a problem with. These are the scum of the earth. The Vikings is one of the worst organizations. They're pathetic. And bottom line is every year I got to hear how good they are when they're rolling with Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I despise the Minnesota Vikings. I despise.
Vikings fans are tough because I do think that they get a little delusional also for a team that really hasn't won anything really.
They're won a freaking Super Bowl in their entire career.
Two things though. One, Bob, I feel you on being a real fan, a realist, because you could imagine that, considering my page is based so heavily around what the Bears do. And I have so many people, really the overwhelming majority that are Bears fans that started following me on there for that reason. I get people all the time. They're like, why do you even still watch? And you're a hater. I'm like, no, I'm not a hater, but I'm not 15 years old. And I'm not going to just say that we're going to win the Super Bowl every year. I realize how bad this team stinks, how bad the roster stinks, how bad they need to do certain things. So it's an adult conversation.
It's an adult rants from Bear Down are the most enjoyable things to watch by a long shot. They're so enjoyable to watch. Bob,
and then remember when he went, I want to make sure that Bob is not converting his fanhood from Jets to Packers. I want to put that baby to bed. I want to put that baby to bed.
I'll tell you that team, there's a spot solidified next to me. I'll tell you this. Jersey. We'll get you. I'll even get you a jersey. I'll even go out of my way and try to get signed by Aaron.
I'll tell you this. I'm not. That's a ridiculous statement, by the way.
No, it's not because
you're going to go out of your way to get it signed from Aaron Rodgers.
I have connections to the team. Yep. My aunt is head seamstress. She knows the equipment manager, whose name's Red, for the Green Bay Packers. There are certain requirements that can be made, Bob.
You know what it is? I'll tell you this. I wouldn't transfer the fandom by any means.
You can't. You can't.
I do.
As a man, you can't do.
You can support the Packers though full-heartedly.
The way I'll tell you this though, Mikey V.
Do for Dorothy.
Okay, but it's not your team though. You can never say this is my team. It's not your team.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But I'll say this: the way that Joey D has rallied around the Yankees for me. I would absolutely pull for the Packers from. I would never transfer the fandom or something like that. But the way that he has really support. I mean, he talked us through that win yesterday.
I talked Bob off a ledge yesterday.
Yeah, I'm really bad when it comes to
the Yankees. It's different. It's.
But I have given my undevoted attention to the Yankees, I would just feel like
You're an executive. You're an executive board member of the Audi Club. There's no question about that.
And by the way, Bear,
I'll be on the board of trustees.
If the Packers sucked and the Bears were good, I'd say the same thing to Bob. Go support the Bears. Unfortunately, the Bears just aren't good. They're not going to be good for a few years until Justin Fields develops. And that's just the way that it is. That I'm not trying to dig deep and get under your skin here. I'm just saying it for what it is.
You're 100% right. They will not be good until I don't think it's him developing as much as it is him being protected. Their offensive line is porous at best.
Cutsy said it a little bit before, and it's true though. The problem is when the Bears go down 17 or 20 at half.
Yeah, they get no power.
And watching when it hits halftime and you see Bear Down Cuz has started alive, it really is one of the best things about a football Sunday, to where if the Bears started winning, I don't think I would be nearly as quick to hit the live button to watch the live if they were winning. When the Bears were down 20-something and you go to your live and you're in a 3-point stance as if you're playing D line. Take it away, Joey D.
I just have to say this because there was a time, and I messaged Bob last year. You were so pissed that you were watching the game from your live, and it was so much more entertaining hearing you that as the game was on, I muted the game and I was watching your feed because it was so much more enjoyable than watching the actual commentators on Fox, just hearing you break down to the point where you might almost want to do a live viewing gallery like week in, week out for the Bears and just sit there on your couch and just film your reactions.
The problem,
it's the funniest shit of all time.
The problem with that is we had that issue with Prize Picks a lot of the times. So many people all over the world, they're in like they're like a little bit ahead of you, and then they're putting
but that's fine. You can deal with that.
It makes the viewing experience. And then some people try and trick you and say touchdown, and this same thing.
Yeah, you can't read the comments when
you don't read the comments.
You just don't read the comments. You're just in the zone. If you're ahead of me, sorry. If you're behind me, sorry. I'm just gonna go with what I'm looking.
Same thing with Jersey Jerry. If the Steelers are not doing well, and you see Jersey Jerry go live, I mean, bro, that is so fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I gotta tell I can't disagree because the numbers when I go live when the Bears are losing, the live numbers are literally they're outrageous. I get like 700, 800, 900 people watching when they're losing. And it's just people just I guess people just love to see me pissed off, which is sad, really.
It is sad, but there's something about the Bears not being good that is so enjoyable. That
numbers are numbers. I'll take it, but
stonks are stonks. And
I don't know what that means. What is a stonk? What's a stonk?
I don't think he knows what it means.
I don't. Yeah, Jet says it all the time, so I just kind of run with it. But they got to be bad. If they're bad, then it's always going to be high.
Yeah. By the way, Jet messaged me last night, Bob. He's in New York. This kid's never had more fun in his life. He said he just texted me. Look at this. I got to show you this. How funny this is. He texted me.
Jet's about to go on a 1 week bender. By the way,
he deserves it. He texted me. The picture was all black, like all blurry, and he just goes, "I'm so back."
yeah, dude. He needs.
I gotta show you here. Well, let me see if I can find. Hold on, I gotta.
The Jet does need give him a 1 week bender to just give it. I mean, everything. And boy, I mean, does he deserve it? By the way, Jet can drink, man. Jet can go drink with you. No,
look at this. He sends me. New York is so beautiful this time of the year, or something like that. It's just all blurry. And he writes me after this. He goes, "I'm so fucking back."
This guy, I mean, let him rip. I mean, if there's somebody that you want to see,
happy Jet is just it's so good to see a happy Jet. It's undefeated. It's the best. I love that.
Now, speaking of happy, something that hit me off guard and it took the internet by storm. We were in Memphis, of all places. By the way, we had some really, really good barbecue. I don't see myself living in Memphis anytime soon. But we were in Memphis with Fat Perez, and we found out the hotel that we were at, the Peabody Hotel, they're famous for their ducks. They have ducks run through the lobby every single day at a certain time. Apparently, Fat Perez owned a pet duck in college.
It's the most ridiculous story.
That's so on brand, though. It really is.
And he was dead serious about it. Like, he really, really had a thing with the ducks. So we paid.
He almost got emotional.
He did. It was kind of like sentimental. We paid $200. It was the best $200 spent of all time for him to be the co-duck master at the hotel. And they did this ceremony with the ducks. I don't think Fat Perez knew, though, when he went to go do it, that it was going to be littered with kids. So it was so bizarre. And I'll have the ticket play the clips of it.
What world are we living in?
It was one of the funniest things, I think.
So when you guys got there, my wife used to travel a lot for work, and she had stayed at the Peabody for a meeting for work, however many years ago.
Hold on, Joe. I'm so sorry to cut you off. Was that a McDonald's cup, Joseph?
Yeah, I ordered an extra iced coffee.
I thought you had Chick-fil-A.
I did.
Wait.
I finished my iced coffee and I wanted another one. So the McDonald's near me is the closest. So I ordered a side extra iced coffee.
My goodness.
What's wrong with that, Bob? You're making iced coffees in your fucking living room, Bob? Maybe you have Mama Burger over there making iced coffees. I don't have that luxury.
Oh,
By the way, Bear Down, I will say that the shirt looks great. I think I need to order. Can you lift it a little bit? Can I see that? I think I need to order one.
and don't forget the logo in the back either, cuz.
It does. Oh, Jesus.
See the logo. I could do without the logo in the back.
No.
Looks like you're wearing a hockey jersey with that logo in the back there.
You're representing. You're representing me out there in the wild.
Sorry, Bob.
Right?
Go ahead. What was your? What were
No,
you
I was
talking
saying that my wife had stayed at the Peabody
yes.
for work.
She messaged me about it.
Right. She told me. And she said that ask them if they see the ducks. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The ducks. She knew all about this duck march. And she's like, they march ducks out, train ducks into a pond, into like a fountain every day. It's like a big thing that they do, the March of the Ducks. I was like, I didn't even know what she was talking about. And then to see Perez do it, I mean, you talk about a guy who just, you know what? There's not many guys who can pull off a walking cane. And he really pulls it off so well. It's just so befitting to him. And for what reason, I don't know, but like it just not everybody could just carry around a cane with a golden duck head on top of it. And he just can very, very easily. It didn't look out of place whatsoever. So just a crazy, crazy thing to look at and witness.
Yeah,
It was
was
wild.
And he even like when we were going home, he went to go through security. Yeah, I mean that's we would
You see that, Bob?
yeah, you gotta play
Is that
that.
not ridiculous?
You gotta send that for
No,
tickets
no.
or ticket.
And then this was his parting gift, the rubber ducky and a
that was great.
certificate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
so we were
great.
going
That
through
was great.
security. I was going through Perez. We went home together and he was going through security and he brought out the rubber ducky and through security. And the guy was looking at Perez. Bro.
No, they didn't let him keep the cane, right?
No, he did
checked
get to
it with
keep
Bob's
the cane.
golf clubs.
Really?
And he didn't have his golf bag, so he sent me home with it. So I
So you have the
You have
cane
the
there?
cane?
Yeah, I got
Can we see the
duck.
cane, Bob? Can we grab the
Wow.
cane?
I would have to go to the garage to get it. Yeah, it's in
I'll
my
tell you
golf.
what, that's
I'd
great,
love to
though.
see it.
It's
That's
and I don't want any. I got nothing to do.
People
with
were telling me
that.
that should be his new putter. People. Were
I was
saying-
gonna say, do you
Yeah.
think he could nail? You think he could nail like a 10-foot putt with that?
probably
with the
could
duck
with the
cane?
duck beak.
I think
Oh
so.
God, man! Ticket if you could play those clips over.
I don't like geese at all, but I love ducks. Yeah, I love ducks.
You do?
Yeah, I had a duck in college.
What do you mean you had a duck?
I had a little duckling in college.
And how many tacos do you got?
8. The duckling's name was Larry Bird.
No way.
Yeah, I had a duck. He used to follow me around campus. Well, actually, a bunch of us had ducks. We had Little Wayne, we had Tennessee Jed, and we had Larry Bird. And it was great. I miss him.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder that the Brilliantly Dumb Show is brought to you by HelloFresh. Skip the grocery store and spend more time soaking up the last of the summer sun with HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/dumb16. That's HelloFresh.com/dumb, DUMB16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 gifts. You can't go wrong with HelloFresh. Order today. But fellas, today's top 5 is brought to you by Mikey V.
It's a good top 5.
Yeah, I think it's a very good top 5. I think the last top 5 we had did not go so well because it was a salad dressing top 5. Me and Joe, I think, were beat for beat with the salad dressing. I think
We
had
were
the
all
same
pretty
one.
much around the same, to be honest.
Yeah, so I think with this one, I think it's going to change it up a little bit. It's going to be top 5 Chinese food items. So it could be an entree, it could be a particular item. I think that this will mix it up a little bit. Let's start off with Mikey V, then I'll give it a rip, and then we'll settle off with Cutsy.
Me first?
Yeah.
That's correct, Mikey V. Let it rip.
Okay, number 5, wonton soup. And I'm going to tell you,
Ooh,
this
good
is,
pick.
again, Chinese food items. What I'm thinking is these are the items that I cannot order. If I'm going to order Chinese, I have to order these items as like staple items. And then if I want to dabble in some specialty things along the way, but these are 5 staple items that I cannot order Chinese food without. Number 5, wonton soup. The best soup, in my opinion, especially in the winter, it's just the wontons and the broth, unbelievable. Number 4, barbecue spare ribs.
That's very
coming
good.
in the foil pack.
Wow.
I like them boneless. I'll be honest. I do like the boneless barbecue spare ribs. But barbecue spare ribs, number 4. Number 3, give me pork fried rice at 3. I think fried rice in general and pork is I think probably the most popular, certainly my favorite. You can't have Chinese without fried rice. I don't think you can. I think it's absolutely necessary as a staple side. Number 2, chicken and broccoli. I think it's the safest, most consistent, best entree play you could make. I was going back and forth with sesame chicken, which I also think is phenomenal, but chicken and broccoli at number 2. And then number 1, I have to go with this. It's experimented with in every different kind of culinary cuisine and every different culture's cuisine. They try and mess with it because that's how good it is. You can't have a Chinese meal without it. Give me the egg roll at number 1. I have to have an egg roll.
Gets the
that's really
seed.
high.
That's
I don't know about
That's
that.
Gotta have the egg roll.
high.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
a high.
It is. Sure
An
is.
egg roll at 1?
Egg roll at 1, bro. Egg roll. I need it. There has to be an egg roll. There has to be an egg roll. There has to be egg roll.
Joey D, how do you feel about that?
I love egg rolls. I'm not.
Yeah,
nothing
you
against-
sure should.
That being said,
do.
I don't have egg rolls on my at 1.
Well,
I don't even have it in my top 5.
I don't
Okay,
know.
that's fine. But you love egg rolls, though.
I do love egg rolls. I think they're very good, but like to put it at 1 is that's a big play, Mike.
Egg rolls.
That's like
Egg rolls are like that thing that you don't know that you need until, like, if you could never have one again, you'd be like, oh my
No,
god.
but I think, Mikey, this is kind of, I'm not going to necessarily put this in the mustard realm, but I don't think
it's a bold take. I think,
we don't.
but
It's
this is my
bold.
take.
We don't have any issue with
it's
the egg
bolder
roll.
than mustard.
Wow.
Because I will say
Wow.
this, even though mustard is not for me, a lot of people love mustard. A lot of people do like egg rolls, but to put it at 1, Mikey V, is a really,
I think
really
if you
high.
go to these, every restaurant you go to, they try and do a spin-off of the egg roll. Every restaurant, no matter what it is, it's Italian. I've seen Italian places.
When have you
try
seen
and
an
do
egg roll in an Italian restaurant?
Oh, I've seen it plenty of times. I've seen my buddy, he does like a Philly cheesesteak egg roll appetizer in
that's
his
good.
restaurant. I mean, you see a lot of spin-offs on the egg roll. A lot of places try and duplicate it, make their own versions. I think the egg roll, you get it out of the packet, you bite the top off like a grenade, like you're about to toss a grenade into the foxhole. You just give it a bite, and then you squeeze the duck sauce packet into the egg roll itself, and then you get the hot mustard in there.
As
Egg
he
rolls
was
tremendous,
going down
bro.
the list too, I was saying, wow, this is going to be Mikey V's top 5. He threw some real good ones.
So
in
what
there.
do we have? We had number 5 was
Wonton soup, barbecue
soup.
spare ribs, pork fried rice, chicken and broccoli, and then the egg roll at 1. And my honorable mention, I'll get to when everyone's
Okay.
done.
All right.
All right. Yeah. I'll tell you what, it goes to show me that this is going to be this list is going to be really interesting. It's going to be all over the board.
Hopefully we get the graphic this week ticket.
Whoa, and there
That's
now
just-
giving a little shot at the big
Hopefully-
ticket.
Whoa!
Oh,
this
in
week.
tickets
I know
offense,
it's
the
busy.
last one was not. There was it
Yeah,
was
but
busy.
you know what,
slap. It
though?
didn't slap, but you know, the
gotta
people
go
look
up.
for it.
It's
People
got
look for it.
it's got
That's all I'm
to
saying.
go. Wow.
This guy's
Um,
coming for blood. This
Yeah,
guy.
No,
I think
no,
I think he
no,
took
no.
that egg roll takeout on ticket.
Poor ticket. Ticket's just always somewhere, just getting the back.
That's such bullshit. No one's praised Ticket and
That
his
is true.
and his abilities and what he's done for this program more than I have.
You know,
Very,
fair
very
enough. Fair
fair.
enough. Fair enough.
Okay, number 5. I am actually, so I had egg roll at 5, and this
Great.
is kind of similar to
Great.
the mustard. I had mustard maybe I think 5 or 4.
Yep,
I do
yep.
think 1 is high, but I do got the egg roll at 5.
Yeah.
I got fried rice at 4 because I
Mm.
agree with you, Mikey V, that you can't have a Chinese meal without it. It's got to be there. It's the base. It's the staple. This is where we really go different. Number 3 for me, I put orange chicken.
That's not
Big
bad.
orange chicken guy. Yeah, I really,
That's
really
good.
like
That's
it. Give me orange chicken at 3. 2, I got beef lo mein. I'm a big lo mein guy.
Lo
Mikey
mein's great.
V didn't have a lo mein in there, did he?
It's my honorable mention, lo mein.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I had lo mein at 2, and then at number 1, I put General Tao's chicken. I think
Yeah.
General Tao's chicken is just tremendous.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, it goes to show, here's the good news is we got a good top 5 on our hands here.
Yeah.
And with that being said, let's head on over for Giuseppe D.
Very curious for this.
Very
Because I know
see.
also a scientific fact that there is no Chinese food in Canada, from what I understand.
That is
correct?
the most preposterous statement I have ever heard.
Is that not accurate?
Vancouver, British Columbia, where I am from, is known to have potentially the best Chinese food in the world. The point.
Now, did you do that? Did you do that to spoof him, Mikey V?
Yeah, kind of. I don't fucking
and
know.
he
I don't
fell
fucking
for
know.
that hook line.
Yeah,
I'm being honest right now. Bob, you can look this
Now
up.
Vancouver is the capital of fucking Shanghai, and it's
Look it up. Bob, look it up right now.
You're so
and you
sick,
will-
Joe. You're sick.
I'm not sick. This is the truth. Vancouver has been rated to have the best Chinese food in the world. Almost
By
as
whom?
good. It's general knowledge. I mean, I'll look it up right now. Vancouver Chinese food, world renowned.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hold on, look.
No, that's what he's typing in. He's typing
Yeah, I
that.
know, because he's gonna.
Is
yeah.
Vancouver, the Canadian seaport city, is also famous for drink and dine variants, which makes it one of the major reasons to visit. Alongside the wide array of cuisines to taste, the city has a major influence of Chinese culture, which results in the emergence of a long list of Chinese restaurants in Vancouver, some of which are the most renowned. I mean, I'm telling you, no,
He
I'm
just-
not.
He
Wait.
said that
Joe,
last
Joe,
sentence
did-
wasn't
did
there.
That, did
He
that,
just
did
put
that
that
last
in there.
sentence?
I'm not
was
saying
it-
anything.
No, was
Zoom in,
Joe, was
Zoom in, Joe.
Joe, was
You
that
fucking
zoom in.
bullshit?
I don't know about that last sentence.
He was like,
He's so full.
and the province of Vancouver has been known for its ports
No,
and
I'm
multiple
not-
Chinese restaurants, and also they're world renowned.
It is world renowned. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right now.
All right. All right,
Joe,
Joey
I
D,
love-
let's.
bro, Joe, I fucking
by the
love
way,
you.
gentlemen,
I just want to say I love you.
what a
I-
program.
I love you
Let's-
too. I
let's
do
clap
love
it
you
up.
too.
Let's clap it up for the program,
It's been a
Joseph.
good
Can we get to?
program.
Let's clap it up for the program here.
How
All
about
right.
for Cutsy's
Here we
five? I
go.
want to hear it.
Top
All right,
5.
so I'm gonna say this right now. I guarantee you now. I will say this: Mikey Bear Down is very well acclimated with the Orient and their cuisine. Bob, not so much. Now, I will say it's nothing. It's not a knock against you, Bob. You're not. You're
Guy.
not known for your
I thought
knowledge
Bob
of
gave him-
Chinese food.
I thought the list was
I
fine.
thought the list was
You
good,
know,
yeah.
I'm not saying anything
Get
about your
off
list. I'm saying in terms
this
of like
guy.
your knowledge. If I asked you certain dishes, Mikey V would know them, and you'd have no idea.
All right, we'll take it away, Joe, or you could take
What I
another
am saying
10 minutes
is,
before you
so
start your list.
I have compilated
Guys,
a list,
just get off. your
which
high
I
horse.
think is very good. Here we go. Okay,
of course, you
at
do.
number 5, I agree with Mikey. Wonton soup. Now,
Yeah,
there's two
yeah.
variations: the
Yeah,
wonton,
egg
and
drop.
there's the war wonton soup. The war wonton soup comes with additional vegetables and additional ingredients inside of it.
I've
This is
never
where
heard of
my
that.
additional knowledge
Okay,
comes into
okay.
play.
Yep.
Mikey V, next time you order a wonton soup, I promise you, ask for war wonton soup. It's better. It comes with more in it, more vegetables. It's better. That's my number 5 because I think it's a great dish to share to start the meal off. And number 4, I have something that neither of you guys have in your lists. I have dim sum. And I think dim sum is fucking incredible. Whether you like shumai, whether you like hargao, whether you like the pork buns, they're great to share. And it's a phenomenal dish. And number 3, I'm going to go with sweet and sour pork. Sweet and sour pork is it's one of the most well-known dishes, and it's so tasty. You get that sweet and sour in there. You cannot go wrong.
That's the fried though, right? They're fried.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's not fried.
yeah.
It's not fried. I think it's got like a
fried.
glaze on it. No, it's got like a glaze on it. Like
I thought those are the fried pieces of pork, and you dip them into the orange sauce.
no. They're already like glazed with that
Oh,
orange sweet and
okay.
sour sauce on it.
Okay, maybe they serve it a little different over here.
Number 2 is chicken chow mein. I love
Okay.
chicken chow
like
mein.
the chow mein play.
Chow mein is very good. And number 1, quite frankly, that it was not on either of your lists, to me is outrageous because this is what the Chinese are most well known for. It is known as the famous royalty dish. If you go to China, this is the most exquisite dish you can have. Is the
Fucking
Beijing Peking roasted duck is as fucking good a dish as you can ever have in Chinese culture.
I think it's the most
phenomenal. It is
I think
so good.
I think it's the most cutsy list of all time.
It is just
It's
such
just
a refined
it's
and
a
well
loud
put together
list.
list.
I love Peking duck, Joe. I love Peking duck. I love Peking duck. I'll leave it at that.
It's
I love Peking
phenomenal.
duck. I
You
just
have
think
it with
their
the
list
little
is
pancakes. You put the chives.
Yeah.
You put the hoisin sauce. On.
Yeah,
Oh,
hoisin
it's
sauce.
phenomenal.
Hoisin
And when
good.
they slice into that duck, it marinates. It's so fucking tender and juicy and delicious. It is the royalty dish in China. So I have to go with that at my number one. It's just undefeated, and that's refined Chinese at its finest. It's not something you're going to get at Panda Express.
Wow.
Okay. All right. I mean,
By the way, I'm very passionate about Chinese food. It's one of my favorite cuisines of all time.
I love Chinese.
I love it more than almost
Chinese.
anything. Like if you ask me on any given night, aside from Italian, I am almost inclined to say, let's go have some Chinese food.
I'm telling you right now, bro.
Cold beer, Chinese food. It's
death row meal may be Chinese for me.
Wow.
It really may
You've always said that's your
my
death row meal.
I think it is, man. I really believe that.
All right, boys.
So good.
Honorable
What a good
mention.
pod.
Honorable
great
mention. Give me chicken and broccoli. Honorable mention. I have no issue with that at all.
See, I like beef and broccoli. You ever do beef and broccoli?
Beef and broccoli is good too.
Slices of beef, which is so good. Baron, you said yours was lo mein.
Lo mein.
For mine, I'll go egg roll on my honorable mention. I think it's right there. It's really good. I love an egg roll. I really do.
Watch the egg roll situation pan out.
Fascinating.
I think is going to be.
I think he's going to get a lot of support. If I'm being
don't,
honest,
I don't think he's going to get the same support that he got.
Can I make one request? Can you please not beg the people to vote for you?
It's not begging. I advertise. I push the pod, right? I'm trying to. I'm
I'm
trying to do it for the pod, right? I want to push the pod. I want the pod to be prevalent. It's a prevalent pod.
I think you're going to get. I think you're not going to get nearly. The mustard people came out to play.
Oh yeah,
the mustard people came out to play, and I'll give you that. I don't think you're going to get that type of support.
Okay.
And again,
you'll get some support, Bob.
There'll be some support, but it's not going to be the same type of support that mustard got.
Here's the thing is that
this
both
voiceless
of you,
thing is growing. It's ridiculous.
It is.
Joe said outright he hates mustard. He said that.
Yeah.
Bob, you had mustard low on the list, but you both recognize how good egg rolls are.
They're very good.
Cut said he quote loves.
I do love egg rolls. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm saying that I think you're going to get support here. I'm not against that.
I just don't know how you could order like a big Chinese delivery, Bob, and you're not gonna get.
I don't
rolls.
disagree.
Here's my thing: is that the egg rolls are like the secondary item. Like there's something
important.
that they're in that
They're so
they're in a
important.
side. They're in a side bag, Bob.
I disagree.
Aside from everything else,
I think they're the treat. I think they're the treat of the whole meal. I really believe that.
I don't mind it on there. I just don't love it at one. That's all.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's
that's
see
what
how
we're here
let's
for.
see how it pans out. But it is true that the voiceless is growing. That's for sure. That's another thing to take into
voiceless
account.
Thing.
The voiceless are definitely growing, and it's becoming a little army. Just something to keep an eye out for. Joey D, Mikey V. That is another edition and a damn good one. The Brilliantly Dumb Show. We will see you next week, boys.